Okay, who here hasn't been to space?
Why?
You better not throw up on my ship.
Approaching jump in 3, 2, 1.
What's up? What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to my YouTube channel where we discuss all things movies, TV, streaming, hot topics, and more. And in this video, I wanted to talk to you guys, well, rather, we wanted to talk to you guys about some of the rumors that are going on with Captain America 4 Serpent Society. A lot of people, when Captain America 4 was first announced, weren't too hype on Serpent Society being the film that was going to be adapted. Well, this might interest some of you. There is a rumor going around that Moon Knight is going to be joining Captain America Sam Wilson in Serpent Society. Interesting, to say the least, that you're teaming Moon Knight up with Cap. I would think that would be more of a Punisher thing you do, teaming up Punisher with Cap because of his admiration for Cap. But having Moon Knight with his many personalities teaming up with Cap is... I feel like, for me personally, I'm thinking to myself, Oscar Isaac steals the show because and I'm saying that strictly as not an Anthony Mackie fan, as everybody fucking knows. I'm not but I like Sam Wilson, Captain America, and I do want to see that. I do want to. I mean, I'm gonna say this: Anthony Mackie did a good job in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. The show sucked, but I thought his performance was okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's a nice thing I said about Anthony Mackie. I'll give him that. But I'm thinking to myself, Oscar Isaac steals the show with all these personalities and things like that, and the interest more in Moon Knight, I feel like. But
he's just a great actor, too.
Yeah.
You know, he kills any role he's in. So it's kind of hard for him not to suck the air out of the room when he's in a scene, you know. And especially playing Moon Knight.
Right.
All those personalities, like you're saying.
Right.
But that could also lend itself for some comedy, too.
But see, that's my question, too. That's funny, because I was going to ask. It would play more into the more funny side, but are we wanting to see a lot of funny in Cap 4?
That's my thing. I'm
Especially
more so
with,
even just sitting here still thinking about the direction or how even this would work. So I'm trying. I don't even know what to say right now. 'Cause I'm just trying to think of how that would even work and what storyline we're trying to. Because we got to remember he just became Cap. So I would try to. I mean, you would imagine he's going to be Cap all next 5. Through Secret Wars, at least. So it's like,
definitely through Secret Wars.
It's like you would try to think why they would start this story with him and Moon Knight and everything, and that's why I'm trying to figure out like where this is going plot wise and stuff.
Especially with the seriousness.
And sitting here, I still don't know. Like I'm sitting here thinking, I still don't know since you've told me.
Yeah, but like the seriousness of Falcon and the Winter Soldier and some of the things they touched on, you wouldn't think that they would want to go in a more funny, odd couple type direction.
Odd couple is the right phrase for them.
Basically what it is.
Yeah, it is an odd couple. It's an odd team up. Well, we got this tweet. Or go ahead.
I would just hope that everything that happened in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, after him meeting him and everything, learning his story, I would hope that just makes him, and not like real life, just in the story, want to play Cap and stuff even more, learn that, he has this history of being black, that like, they didn't let him be Cap and everything. And I just hope he has that pressure on his shoulders as a character in the movie and everything.
Right. I definitely want that more played on. I feel like had COVID not fucked Falcon and Winter Soldier, maybe the show would have been proceed a lot better, because we saw tones and directions that they were wanting to go. I mean, even in the... What's the thing that Marvel does? The Marvel after shows that they always put on.
Oh, yeah.
Forget what those are called.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, I forget what they're called. But I watch all of those, regardless if I like the show or not. I like those. I watch it. Yeah, I don't know what those are called.
I've watched them. I can't
but we saw the directors and the writers talking about, how this was going to happen or this was going to happen. But, unfortunately, COVID. And you saw, like, the stuff you were just talking about, like him having him wearing the stars and stripes as a black man. Yeah. That is something that I really want more played on, just because I think that it is, I know a lot of people, because I say this too, and I don't want to sound like a hypocrite when I say, because with recast T'Challa, I'm always saying I don't want the real life, I don't want the tragic death of Chadwick Boseman translated into, I don't want that real life translated into my fantasy. So I don't want to sit here and say I want that more. I do want that more played on, but
that's not even because we've learned how they treated.
Well, that's
so we've
true,
learned how
too.
they
So
treat
that
black
so it does exist
superhero,
within
or
the
at least
MCU.
their black
Yeah.
Captain America. We've
Right.
learned how they would
Right, so
feel
that's
about
true.
that and everything. And we know how they would feel about any superhero that's not white in the MCU. At least how they've played historically wise, like what they've done to Abomination, what they've done to the Elijah and everything, what they've done to almost every character that's simply not white and everything. So it's just, you can't really say that's bringing real life into it because the comic book stories.
That's true, too.
They made
That's true, too.
They were
It's-
written in times where that's what the civilian lifestyle was.
I mean,
they just simply didn't accept
Definitely with
anything.
Adam Brashear, Blue
Yeah.
Marvel.
Yep,
You know?
they didn't accept anyone other than
Yeah.
what they wanted.
Yeah. So that's true too. That is very true.
Also, with T'Challa, it's a little different because of what Wakanda represents.
That is also very
which
true.
is a part of Africa that got to advance, was untouched by Europeans, was not conquered, and that's what it is. So, in that way, it's protected from the outside world. So, why would we want what really happened to
Right.
influence the character
Yeah.
or
Right.
the story? You know.
Right. No, I agree. Okay, good points. So here we've got a tweet. This tweet comes from GMG, and it was a tweet that he tweeted out May 11th. He said, rumor, Moon Knight is in Captain America 4. The main group of heroes would be the Anthony Mackie as Cap, Sebastian Stan, as Bucky, Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight, and Danny Ramirez as Falcon. Take it as a grain of salt. Source comes from 4chan. Captain America 4 or hashtag Captain America 4, Sam Wilson, Captain America. Then he replied to himself a few days ago and said, "Yep, this goes beyond a rumor. In too many, it is being heard that Cap, Sam Wilson, and Moon Knight will team up against Serpent Society. This show may be better movie than okay."
I mean,
anything.
I think now that I've been sitting here thinking and what I've heard Trey say, I think the only thing that makes sense is for them to start the show with like Moon Knight thinking he's Captain America or some shit. like he's having a personality that's thinking he's Captain America or some shit, and so Sam and Bucky gotta go stop whatever kind of what they did to John or U.S. Agent, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, kind of something like that. And then maybe that's where we get into them teaming up or something like that. But I still don't even know how the team up would work just due to his multiple personalities and everything.
Paths,
I was about to say, like, I'm not even sure how the team up with him and Bucky is really still where, like, it. I think they're still trying to make it that awkward funny. Like, it's supposed to be awkward between them. But, like, they.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I forgot that Bucky. I mean, here's something, too, that they could do. Knowing that Bucky, and I want to get to this really quick. Knowing that Bucky has dealt with traumas of honestly split personalities, being the Winter Soldier, then being Bucky. Sam, as we've seen in Winter Soldier, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's Winter Soldier. Does council session or does meetings with or trauma meetings from people that were over in the that have been in the military, have been in active duty, been in service, seen things. All three of them can relate in that aspect, as far as like Bucky dealing with the split personalities and Sam's trauma, and then you've got Moon Knight with the trauma and split personality. So they could all relate in that way for sure.
I'm just not sure how they get together with Moon Knight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But see, with Moon Knight season 2 coming up, maybe season 2 comes out before.
That's what I'm
Society.
thinking. When does that come out? Before or after?
Yeah.
And
And
I think
honestly,
that would
I think we get an announcement of Moon Knight season 2 Saturday.
I
do.
would fucking hope so.
Pumped for that.
And because I mean, if you remember the video that the TikTok video that went viral, it was a rumor maybe about a month or two ago, where Oscar Isaac and the director of Moon Knight were in Cairo, and then they were spotted by a fan, and she walked up to them and said, "What are you guys doing in Cairo?" And she said something like, "Are you guys doing Moon Knight season 2?" And then Oscar Isaac's like, "What do you think we're doing in Cairo?"
Yeah.
So if that's true and they are really doing it, then they've started.
Yeah.
But Marvel's always ahead of everything. Everything's
Right.
when they go on these 10-year these retreats and they talk about the next 10 years, they start going into production and writing and thinking and the active getting creative about how this whole 10-year span is going to look.
Right.
So I think it's cool, but also something that's really interesting to me is the fact that Serpent Society is even an option on the that they're choosing Serpent Society. Not that it's an option on the table, because it's not like Serpent Society is not good or anything like that. But it was back in 2016, if you remember. Back in 2016, it was I don't remember what this was at. I don't know if this was at Comic-Con, SDCC, one of those. They put out, when they put this out in 2016, Kevin Feige then said, they dropped it and they said, oh, well, we told you we were doing Serpent Society. So Serpent Society has been on Feige's mind for a while. Right. That's what I'm getting at. But, they dropped the deal and said, oh, it's now Civil War. And so, but Serpent Society is interesting because Serpent Society I know they're trying to move it into like the rumor is they're going to be more supernatural. I can't remember if anybody on the team's powers are supernatural. I don't believe so. It's just and then that's what I'm saying. It's an interesting group of villains to put in with Moon Knight, or Captain America, Bucky. So that one's an interesting a deal to me too. I mean, did you read Serpent? Do you know anything about Serpent Society?
I don't know much about Serpent Society. No.
I don't know much about any Cap comics.
I mean, I guess there are some cool characters in Serpent Society, but they're mid. The Serpent Society is, so it's going to be interesting to see what their take is going to be on them. Yeah, like I said, the rumors are true. They're going to have some supernatural powers, and that might make them a little bit more interesting. Right. Yeah. Because, yeah. Yeah,
they need it.
Yeah,
to them, huh?
They need it.
Yeah, and I've said this before. I think something that I would have really loved to see, because we do know that Chris Evans is signed. He's going to be doing more in the MCU as Captain America. Right, yeah. I'm thinking more down the line that Secret Wars.
Right, Secret Wars bring in alternate versions.
Exactly.
And everything,
But I also think too, they're also going to use him in other ways. Like, I think it would really be cool to do Hydra Cap. I know a lot of people might agree, might not agree, but I think that it would be really cool to do a Hydra Cap. And I think for Sam's character, for him, that would be such a compelling
That's what
story.
They need to do too.
Him fighting, seeing his hero fall.
Yeah, that and like imagine he's like Sam's in a place where he needs help and he figures out he can go to, like, just the multiverse is open and that there's other versions of other people that he can somehow go find another Steve to help him. And the Steve he comes across is Captain Hydra or whatever. So it's like, and then he ends up getting his ass kicked. It's like, that's just something I feel like Sam needs in the story just to develop as Captain America and everything. Like, he needs that, I don't know, he needs that little bit of heartbreak from getting his ass beat just from someone that's close to him. Not even. Yeah. It's like it is a villain to him, but at the same time, like that's like an inspiration. Like that's his hero. Yeah.
But that's the thing too. That story would be so compelling because see for me, I think Bucky's already dealt with that. Bucky's already fought Cap. Yeah. But I think for Sam, if you just did a Sam film, no Moon Knight, none of that. If you just did a Sam film and you had him going against Hydra and then him finding out that it's Cap that is behind it, I think that that's just one of those things because you see that he admires Cap so much. He's since day one, he admires Cap so much. So then for you to now don the Stars and Stripes, you're donning the shield, and now you're fighting the man that you admired so much, that you looked up to as a hero, and then this and that. He fought for what do you say? Normally the people that end up shooting at you are shooting at me. So
on your left, on your left, sum it up to me.
Yeah, so he's always there, right? On your left, he's always there. So. I think that would be a compelling story.
No, it really would.
Direction to go,
yeah, I think that'd be a compelling story. The last thing here is
some damn fans in those seats to write these damn movies.
Moon Knight season 2. So season 2 is reportedly in the works. As I said, we knew of that from the video, the TikTok video, and everything like that. So if season 2 is happening, that might be the place that establishes, like we said earlier, where Moon Knight is going to be by the time he maybe meets Cap. Maybe Sam might even show up in season 2.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different.
They gotta start. I mean, like they gotta start the cameos we've been getting are cool, but they got to start putting in some meaningful story developing like cameos and
Right,
like
not
plot
just throwing
drive.
them in
Yeah,
there
not
real
just
quick.
for humor. Like they got to start throwing in like plot, like the ties with like the bigger MCU. Like you always say, they just got to start throwing in these cameos just to develop storylines.
MCU,
And
for
so it's
sure.
like, imagine if they threw Cap in Moon Knight and everything. It'd make everyone more interested to go see Captain America, the next Captain America, and everything. I don't know why.
You would definitely have people that have like seen the show, and then and then you would have an audience that has seen Moon Knight
Or it's like
season 1 and all that.
It makes the anticipation greater, at least, because
It does.
it's like we don't just end this show on like, okay, we really don't know where it's going next, but we know this story kind of ended, so we don't really give a fuck where it goes next, because this story wasn't that good, which is how the most shows have been. So it's like, this story wasn't that good, but it's like, if you start making it to where at the end of these shows you leave us on a cliffhanger to where it's like you want to wait and see where the next storyline is going to pick up and everything, I think that's perfect and stuff. So
Start seeing it pop into the movies,
Yeah.
too, not just being on the show.
Yeah.
like exactly how they did with Jonathan Majors and Loki, like perfect example.
Right, yeah.
And it's gonna be, like I said, more interesting too with the whole team up stuff, because you're gonna have Mark in there, you're gonna have Steven in there, and you're gonna have Jake in there. So we don't know what Jake's gonna look like besides what we saw of him at the end of season 1.
Right.
And then it's gonna be interesting seeing Steven come out as Mr. Knight fighting with. I mean, like I said, I hope a lot is established in season 2. And then my thing too is Khonshu just gonna be hanging out in the background,
Right.
like, because Khonshu's gotta be there. He's gotta be where Moon Knight is. So is he just gonna be hanging out in the background? Are we just gonna randomly see Khonshu in the back? Like, or are we gonna hear Khonshu? Like, is that a
Right.
lot? That's a
Yeah.
lot for that
No,
for
that's-
one film,
No,
bro.
it is.
Yeah.
Around Serpent Society.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. So
You just see him on a rooftop
I mean, yeah,
at
I
all
mean, that's what I'm
times,
saying. He's
like,
just
yeah.
always there while they're
Always there.
fighting. He's just in the back, cut his throat, and
Just
walk.
every once in a
You know?
while. He just like NBA photo bombs,
Yeah, so it's I don't know. It's weird, but it's a lot to. It's just a lot to me in one film.
But I think you're right. Season 2, Moon Knight, we'll find out more. It'll probably make more sense after we see that. Because right now, it's just, I think we're all scratching our heads wondering how this is going to tie in, how this is going to work.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, the interesting things there are Mark. They all share the whole background with the trauma thing, so they could relate on that. But right now, we have no idea what the vision or the idea for Cat 4 is, if it is, or which I assume, I know it's going to be talked about Saturday. Once they talk about it Saturday, we'll probably have a more idea of how the story is going to be centered around, because they'll go into each individual little thing and talk about what it's going to be and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely interesting. So it's one I'm looking forward to Captain America 4, honestly. I really am. But as always, question is for you guys. Let us know down below what you guys think. Are you guys thinking what this whole thing is going to look like? Are you scratching your heads like us? Are you trying to come up with different stories, different scenarios, different ways that this team up can actually work? We didn't even talk about Danny Ramirez as Falcon in there. But yes, let us know what you guys think about Danny Ramirez playing the Falcon. That's another person in the film. So that's now Khonshu, Moon Knight, and his 3 personalities, Bucky, Captain America. That's 5. I mean, that's it's an Avengers film,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so I don't know. You guys let us know down below what you guys think in the comments. I'm not against it at all. I just think it's going to be really interesting, really fascinating. I want to see how the whole thing gets pulled together. But let us know down below in the comments. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. We will see you guys in the next video.